Good morning, Warriors. How are we doing today? This is Vigor Warriors 2, and we are at June. What is the date today? Today is the 28th of June, 2022. Hope you guys are on your plan. You're doing well. You're considering the battle. Battle on. I think we're approaching 753 days now we're at, and we're well over 200 from monk mode. I don't check monk mode all that much. I probably should do that, but I'm not. I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't really check a lot of it. I think, as Alvin and a few other people have said over the time, it's really a lifestyle change, so you really don't do it. I'm only really doing it just to kind of keep the information out there so you guys can see, and how I can get closer and see how it affects it has on me, and I can provide you guys with information that's going to help you guys as well. And that's really the major reason, because I've kind of, at this point, just kind of acknowledge it as going to be a part of life, and that's the way it is. Always interested in kind of see. I saw a video interesting on lions, and how lions, males attract the females, and the ones who are the lions who are just sitting there watching things, not paying attention to all these females walking around. Eventually the females jumping on the male and all kinds of stuff like that. And it just kind of shows you that energy is really a factor, a main factor. And I think when you look at these things and how it's really set up and the way you're doing it, you really kind of focus on the fact that really the idea you really want to have is transmuting your energy to other types of things, and not just focusing on men and women, if you're a female and a male. All right, so thank you for all the comments. Alvin, another shout out. Thank you for your generous donation. I appreciate that as always. I always try to put the I forget a lot of the times. I'm forgetting, but I'm gonna try to put the donation thing on the link, so you see that in case you want to do that, the PayPal thing. Also, thank you for the comments, likes, well wishes, limitless vision. Thank you for your birthday wish, Coen. I'll also talk about this in a separate type of video with the Fountain of Youth, but thank you for a nice comment about my age. I don't really think about it all that much. I feel tremendous. With all the stuff that we're talking about, I just feel tremendous. Better than I've ever felt. In the last couple of years, this energy is just unbelievable to me. And that may be just my case, but I feel tremendous. So thank you so much for the comment. Yeah, I just turned 61. I was born on June 25th, 1961. So 61 years, a couple days ago. And it's kind of nice to see that the benefits are coming through. Back when I was 30, 40 years old, I had so many problems with old football injuries and all kinds of stuff that's happening, stress levels, things like that, that I ended up, having to go see a doctor, and he basically said that you're not gonna make it too much longer, unless you figure some way to change your life. And so I just happened to be, God, I think, blessed me at this point, that I was at I went to a thrift store or a rummage sale or Goodwill or something like that, and I found this book called Fountain of Youth by Peter Kendler. And I'm going to go back over this again. I think Coen just actually kind of motivated me and inspired me to actually probably talk about it tomorrow. And a set of exercises that we've talked about before that worked well. The only one, I did that for about 20 some years, and then not until I actually kind of read more into that last one, the sixth one. It said that if you do the 5, you're going to be very strong, but if you do the 6th one, then you become a superhuman person, and that's male, female. And so the whole idea then is to kind of focus on celibacy and transmuting that energy upwards, and that was a 6th exercise. So we'll talk about that more in the next couple of days. All right, so Dex had a nice comment as well, and then thank you also I think Mr. 1981, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate that as well. I probably didn't get the whole name right, so I apologize. But Mr. 1981, I appreciate that. Thank you for your nice comment as well. And all those nice comments you guys are giving, and please continue doing that. So Dex had a nice comment, so we're going to talk about Dex's question and comment a little bit here, talking about energy, and again, how energy flows through. And when you're talking about looking at this journey that you're on, the goals and the journey that you're kind of focusing on. And we talked about this a little bit before as well. But when we're focusing on energy, we're using energy in different ways. And I think when you're looking at masculine energy and feminine energy, and we'll title that masculine energy and feminine energy. It's important to recognize that energy is different in the purposes that we use it for as energy. And I think when you look at males and females who are retaining, you'll see energy transmuting in different types of goals. Now, I know we live in this society, and hopefully it's changing of late, back to a normal, I would say, biblical type of response where, men are men and women are women, that type of thing. Though, like I said, it's, those lines by some try to become blurred. But the idea is that your masculine energy, really, when you look at masculine energy, you're looking at someone who is showing traits of masculinity. And masculinity are traits for leadership and being strong and a protector and someone who, has to be strong for the family unit. And I know the family units come under a lot of scrutiny as well, but I think that's going to start changing as well. I just feel that, we've hit a point where it's just become so bad going one way that we're starting to see a big turn coming back the other way. And I think that when it comes to family and God and those type of things, religion, you're seeing people realize that you really can't, live life and have hope and succeed without some of these things being strong. And so when you talk about family unit, the male has to be strong. And I know people, once again, will say that this is, kind of, old age type of thinking. Well, I don't think it's old age. I think it goes, it's been around since the old days. So, males have to go ahead and protect the family, and males have to have that sort of energy that is strong, protective, leadership, those type of things. Females who are also full of energy, strong, they can do those things as well as males can do female things as well. I mean, I think it's not a case of whether you can do it or not. It's more of a case of the roles that are traditional type of roles that I still believe in. And I think when you go back to female roles, you're talking about roles of nurturing. You're talking about roles of just having positive energy around, so that the other people in the family, especially the male, is just attracted to that. And so when you see somebody, you see a woman who is, retaining, full of energy, you see a person who is very, very attractive. And I'm not just talking about physical attractive, I'm just talking about the aura and the energy around that person. And so you see what happens. A lot of people, and what I've noticed, now this is once again my opinion, so as I notice people, you'll notice people who tend to be, when they're younger, they're full of the energy. And that's because they have all kinds of energy. But in my mind, what ends up happening is that they end up losing a lot of that energy. And they tend to dissipate that as time goes on. And so what ends up happening then is that they kind of become a lot different looking. Now, though I've had my struggles over the last 40 some years, I was never one to go out and carouse around and chasing women and everything. My dad had taught me to be able to focus on things. Now, I didn't do as well as I should have, and for many, many years I struggled still. But I was nowhere near some of what my football buddies and other types of people used to do all the time. So in this case, I was able to kind of save some of my energy and so I'm not in the same kind of condition that a lot of my buddies are in. And so I think it's the same with males and females. So Dex, I think you make some very good, excellent points, and I shout out to you on this, because I do think that when you look at it in males who are retaining and females are retaining, they have a certain aura. I don't think this is limited to just one, males or females. I think males and females both have high levels of energy. But I think what ends up happening is that they have succumbed to dissipating energy in an emotional or a physical type of way, and they lose a lot of that energy, and they're not able to become stronger and as they go along. I feel like with this journey I'm on, then we talk about being a journey, being a long type of journey and hard. It's really something that you should be getting stronger with. And yes, there's going to be times when you're challenged, and all of a sudden, like I said, with the lion, the lady lions are jumping on top of you and hanging on you and all kinds of stuff like that. And that's going to happen, and the same thing with the females who have the males jumping on them. When you have this type of energy, the energy attracts. It's not, see, and I think this is the other thing that I learned, that, once again, we're living in a backwards world from what we're told. It's almost like kind of the opposite in many ways. In a lot of cases, when you're told that it's the looks, your attractiveness and things like that, yeah, but what they don't tell you, it's the looks from within. It's your energy level. And your energy level comes from a lot of strong faith. It comes from the ability to be able to transmute that energy, to have discipline, and be able to kind of move through that so that you're able to kind of use the energy for higher purposes. And that's really kind of what you're trying to do. You're trying to use it for higher purposes, for God's purposes. And I think this is why we're in this world that is just kind of like the complete opposite. And now I understand when the Bible talks about that we are not of this world. Because the idea is that the world itself, and I think the evil one has a lot to do with this, and this is why I don't really have any kind of anger or anything towards people, because I believe people, a lot of cases, are being used now. Do they make the choice? Yes, they make the choice to do these things. And I think that obviously they're making a lot of bad choices of all the things that we see out there. And I think that people think that this is all new age, progressive type of behaviors. It really isn't. It's been around for, thousands of years, going back to the beginning. I mean, if they think some of these behaviors are brand new, then they need to go back and look at some history of mankind, and why different types of places have fallen apart, dynasties and things like that, because it's so easy to see that this is all the same repeated type of behaviors. Once a society gets to about 200 years, you see the same trends have always happened. Technology, lifestyles may be different in some ways, but people are still people. And they'll continue being people. So no matter where, what dynasty, what year you're talking about, people will still always be people. And this is the key to the thing that you're talking about. So Dex, going back to what you're saying, I think you make some very, very good points. I think this energy allows you, if you retain it, it allows you to become that strong male or female that you should be. And you're not really talking then about trying to be some kind of role that you really shouldn't be. And I think that's the key to it. So once again, Dex, I think you're right on target. Thanks a lot for your comment, and a shout out to you. And just to kind of summarize a little bit, we're talking about, guys, we're really talking about being masculine and feminine. And I think these are it. And I said this in another video, which has got a lot of play and likes on this thing, is that men really want women who are feminine. They have that feminine energy because it complements their male energy. No one is better or worse. This is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about someone who basically has that strong feminine energy. And we're not talking about necessarily someone who always looks the best. Whether they have knockout looks or not is not the key. The key is the feminine energy that they have that really attracts and complements your masculine energy. And they're attracted on their end of it by the masculine energy you have. So I think as time goes on, as you mature more as a person, you're able to kind of recognize that energy. And the other assumption here, my friends, and you have to think about this too, is the fact, and I think I'm once again talking to the 1% choir, but you have to realize that we talk about energy. Just a conversation of energy alone means that this world is not just physical. Because to have energy is not something that you can necessarily kind of drag out of a person's body and measure. You have to actually kind of have a spiritual component to have energy. And I think this is where people struggle, because a lot of times people, if they don't see it, they don't think anything's there. And I think that there's a whole world around what we see that we can't see. And there's particular reasons why we can't see those. I think if you saw all the evil ones and their real purpose and the devil's spirits, you'd probably be scared half to death. And so I don't think God allows us to see a lot of that. Now, the devil will work within people, and we see enough of these horrors as it is. But if you really saw, I think, the spirits of some of these people and what they're really, thinking, capable of, you would, I probably would be scared to death of that kind of stuff. So, but that's what it kind of indicates to us, that we really are focusing on looking at outside of this, what we see in front of us, to a bigger type of thing. All right, so again, Dex, thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. Nice comment once again. Coen, Limited Vision, thank you for your comments. Same thing with Mr. 1981. I appreciated all that. You guys are wonderful, and I'll keep doing videos as long as you guys keep responding and liking what you're doing, what we're doing here, and trying to get more information out that can kind of help a lot of you younger people out there, males and females, because I do think the world is changing. After 70 some years of the world being a certain way, it always tends to change back and forth, and I think we're seeing a lot of these values where people thought were kind of crazy are coming back, because those are the things that really kind of make us closer to God. And I think God's making it come at us well, as you can see that through a lot of things that happened over the last week or so. All right, my friends, have a great day, and God bless each one of you guys. And if you have any questions, comments, please go ahead and do that. I love to respond back and have some dialogue with people. And I think I'm going to try to do a streaming here once in a while. I haven't done one yet, but I'm going to see if I can try to figure one out how to do it. And maybe we'll have some time where people can kind of check in, and we can talk about it on a personal one-to-one basis. So, all right, guys, God bless you guys. Have a great day, June 28, 2022. And you know what? Battle on. Keep battling.